to make some chocolate tarts out of our third cookbook, and these are chocolate tarts that we make almost every winter, soft-scented, and they're really easy to make, so we're just going to get stuck in and just going to go from here. We've just got like these little 10 centimetre fluted moulds, and this recipe makes about 6. Smooth it that way. They come with removable bases, and they're really cheap and they last forever, so it's worth getting yourself some of these moulds. Got some pastry that we've made and refrigerated down. I'm just going to take this off. I like to wrap my pastry really well. I'm just going to slice it just nice and thin. And it doesn't have to be perfect, because what we're going to do is we're going to press this into the moulds. And there's enough butter in here that you won't need to grease the moulds either. No paper involved, which is always nice. And simply all we're going to do is press this into the moulds just with our fingers, and we want to get it to about 2 or 3 millimeters thick. Now you probably think, crikey, this is pretty messy and ugly, but what we're just trying to do is just press the pastry in with our thumb, and we just get it down there along the base first, and then with our forefinger we just press it up. As the pastry softens from the fridge, it actually gets easier, and then what we do is just slide our finger across, and it just cuts the excess pastry off. So we're pressing pretty hard. We actually want to press it until we can almost see the tin, the steel from the tin shining through. You see, I've just pressed a little bit hard just there. Just take a bit of pastry, push it back, like that. And then you end up with a pretty rough sort of tart like that. Now we go back to our thumb. Remember, we started with our thumb. And then the uneven pastry we just push out with our thumb. And we cover up all those little holes. And we're pushing it back down into the base of the pastry, or the tart dish. And then that's pretty much all we need to do. If we want to be clever and be extra thin, we can go back and do a second time with this and see how it's just pushing up like a little lip of pastry. That's if you want nice fine tartlets. I like tartlets that have more filling and less pastry, because let's face it, the filling is what it's all about. So we've got 6 little tartlets, got some baking paper, and the easiest way to fill these in is just to scrunch them up. So you can see it's pretty technical, and we just scrunch them up because it makes it easier to fit into our little tartlet moulds. And if you don't have any proper baking beans, you can just use, I often use chickpeas. I'm just using a bit of brown rice this time around, and it's just literally just to put some weight into the bottom of the moulds. So this is just a blind bake them, because we're going to cook these ahead of time before we make the filling, because let's face it, the last thing you want to be doing is doing this just as your guests turn up. You want to be doing this at least in the morning, if not the day before, because you just want to take all the stress out of it. Got our oven turned on, turn your degrees. These are tart cases, and we can put these back in the fridge if you want to. But if you're in a bit of a rush, we can just bang those in. So we've got some chocolate, throw that in there, and we're going to put that on top of a bowl of water. And it's just going to melt away with some butter. Just going to melt that. Okay, in a bowl with some sugar. Just take the sugar, the flour. We've got 4 yolks. Let's pop them in there. 2 whole eggs. We're just going to whisk this together, just while we wait for that chocolate to come down. So essentially, we've just got chocolate and butter melting, and then we're just going to make a small batter. The flour just is going to help it to set. A tiny bit of sugar in there. It's about 90 grams of sugar for enough filling for about 4 to 6 tarts. No mixers involved, just kind of nice. And literally, that's as much as you need to do it, just so the flour's gone through. You don't have to make it nice and glossy, but these are particularly nice eggs. Beautiful. Okay, we're just going to pop those in the oven. And they'll take about 10 to 15 minutes at least. You want to cook them until it's quite brown, just around the edges, before you take out the paper and the beans, because if you undercook it, when you pull it, sometimes the pastry will come away with the paper and you'll end up with a big hole in your tart. So just cook it quite hard. There's our chocolate coming down. This has got to be one of the easiest chocolate tarts around. And again, you can make the filling ahead of time and just leave it in the fridge and just warm it in the microwave and just literally fill your tart up. So you can make the bases and the filling about like 2 days ahead of time, and it's not going to make any difference at all to the finished product, other than you'll be just really relaxed. Now in this recipe we're using 53% chocolate, cocoa solids, which is just like a good strong chocolate. It's not as strong as like a 70%, which is what I prefer to eat if I'm just eating chocolate or for a lot of tarts. Use the 53% or around that level for this tart, because what we're actually after is a tart with a bit of a gooey centre, and if you use the ones with more cocoa solids, it just cooks a little bit more cakey like, a little bit more chalky. Great flavour, but you just won't quite get the same runny centre. And here we go, just the last little bit of butter in there. Okay, flick you off. And it doesn't matter which way you go, I'm just going to go the chocolate into there. Cool. And you're just stirring it to combine. So just a little bit of flour in there, which is going to help it set. And that's it. So we're just going to pour this into there, and that's our filling. And all we need to do is wait for our tarts to cook, and we're going to tip that in and bake them off, and that's it. Okay, so chocolate tart time. So I've just taken these back off the deck to cool down. Yes, this one's a little bit dark, but I like my pastry really dark. So, push them as hard as you like. I'd rather have a really crisp pastry than one that's soggy and undercooked. So, I mean, if you don't want to cook yours as dark as mine, that's up to you. Just a personal preference. So, this chocolate mix is still liquid from when we made it, so I'm not going to have to heat it up. But as I say, you can make this ahead of time and just simply microwave it just a little bit, like 20 seconds for like half a bowl is fine. And just do it in small amounts in the microwave until it goes runny, because if you just put it on for a minute, it'll actually cook the filling in the bowl. So here we go, we're just filling these up. And you don't have to be too pretty about it, they just find their own level. Put a decent amount in there though. And just save the rest for a rainy day. So we're going to pop these in, they'll take about 5 to 7 minutes, and we're just looking for the outside just to set a little bit and the centre to still be running. Cool bananas. So we're just going to let those cool down for a minute, and then we'll literally just lift them up and pop them out. And like I say, if you're quite confident with your pastry, by all means just take the tarts out. I mean, normally that's what we would do first. And look at that, you know, you got these nice chocolate tarts, got a gorgeous wobble. There's only one thing left to do, and that's just to break into it and just open it up. Look at that. To me, that is what a chocolate tart is all about, and that pastry is super crisp. Beautiful. How could you not like that?